With evolution and pre-evolutions done, let's get into mega evolutions. Pokemon! 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 Hello everyone, I'm Dustin Benzel, and welcome to another Pokemon discussion. In the previous episode, we discussed evolutions and pre-evolutions, and now it's actually time to discuss mega evolutions. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this one was the hardest to come up with. And a lot of these probably aren't something you want, and only basically one of them were hard. Now, I'm gonna make it perfectly known. Most of these Pokemon are Pokemon that Ash Ketchum in the anime has access to. But, just to be clear, I don't expect Ash to have any of these Mega Evolutions. If you've seen my Charizard Y coming to the anime discussion, you'll know that the most likely Mega Evolution is going to be Charizard. These Pokemon are just Pokemon that I just simply choose because I figured I'd want them. And who knows, maybe Ash might indeed get one of these Mega Evolutions. But I apologize if these Pokemon are indeed Pokemon that have Ash. There's like basically only one that Ash does not have. Technically, well, there's two. I mean, the other one is an evolution, but basically, well, three of them are evolutions, but 4 of the 5 are Pokemon that Ash could have access to, and only one is something Ash does not have access to unless he actually captures it. So, I apologize greatly that most of these Pokemon are indeed relatable to Ash. But I just can't help it. Ash just sometimes has decent Pokemon. So, of course, we're going to go to the one that I really wanted the most for Mega Evolutions. And I chose this pretty much over anything else. And, of course, if you've seen my videos in regards to Mega Evolutions for Ash and Mega Evolutions in general, you'll know that this one I'm expecting is, of course, Greninja. Welcome to Mega Greninja, a Pokemon I simply want because, well, as I've already said, I kind of want Ash to have a Mega Greninja. But that's all. That's pretty much the main reason, and because I think it would be really cool. Now, I chose Greninja over my favorite fully evolved starter in 6th Gen, Delphox, simply because I think Greninja getting a Mega Evolution just makes a little bit more sense. Look, I love Delphox. I enjoy Delphox. Delphox is really cute and cool and awesome. And if I was forced to choose a starter, I would choose Fennekin. But Greninja is one of the more popular starters of this particular generation. Now, I suppose if you were to choose the weakest of the starters to get a Mega Evolution, I don't know if that's Chestnut or Delphox, but if you were to choose them to give them a Mega Evolution, that'd probably make a lot of sense to boost them up. But if there was only going to be one Mega Evolution, I want Greninja. And there's also another reason why. One of the first Mega Evolutions revealed was Mega Blaziken, and that was a starter. That's a fire type. Charizard has basically a 2 Mega Evolutions, so it'd be either between Chestnut and Greninja, and I definitely prefer Greninja a little bit more than Chestnut. Basically, I've enjoyed the 6th generation starters. I've already said how I feel about them, but basically my listing is Fennekin first, Froakie second, and Chespin next. But I've always enjoyed all of them pretty much equally, even though I prefer one over the other. So, definitely Greninja over Chestnut. There we go. Woo! Okay, anyway, basically for its design, I feel like it would enhance its ninja design. I would expect its tongue to be slightly different colored, maybe like red or something, so it looks more scarf-like, but either way, that doesn't really matter. But, you know how Greninja has white spots on its knees and elbows, while Frogadier and Froakie have access to what the anime calls frubbles, but Greninja doesn't have access to that? Well, guess what? Mega Greninja is going to have frubbles in the same way that Frogadier and Froakie do. Although, of course, it won't be around its neck, of course. Instead, what we'll get is a stream of frubbles, basically, through its elbows and knees, and basically the anime can use these frubbles and throw them and stuff of that nature, so it'll look something like that. Also, definitely Mega Greninja would keep its typing, but it would have protein. It would have straight up access to protein. So your your Greninja that has Torrent, because you can get a Greninja with a regular Greninja with protein, don't worry, Mega Greninja will have straight up access to protein. So your Torrent Greninja can Mega Evolve into Mega Greninja and have protein. As I've said, protein makes the most sense for this particular Pokemon line. Giving a Mega Evolution some other ability that wouldn't be as amazing as protein would be really kind of stupid. In fact, I would think in that instance, even if Mega Greninja is stronger than Greninja by 100 base stat total, I feel like people would still choose Greninja with protein rather than Mega Greninja, whatever other ability. Unless it's just as good as protein. If it's an ability that's as good, then that's perfectly fine. So anyway, let's move on. Exploud. Exploud was really hard, and I chose it over Shiftry, the other choice of third generation Pokemon that I was going to choose. But I feel like Mega Exploud would be really awesome. It would be really epic to have Exploud. The thing is, Exploud kind of looks like a Mega Evolution already of a Pokemon that would be not a Mega Evolution. So what do I expect this Mega Evolution to look like? I'm not really sure, but I expect it to have like a speaker on its stomach to enhance its, to enhance its abilities. Now, I think Exploud already has 3 abilities as is, but I still want its own unique ability for Mega Evolution. Hopefully, that means it's possible. I don't know what the rule is for Mega Evolution and their abilities. I don't know if they're separate Pokemon that can have their own abilities. Not really sure on that, but I hope that Mega Exploud can have the ability that I want. Of course, it would lose its soundproof ability or other abilities that have, and it would gain an ability called Amplifier. Now, the cool thing about Amplifier is that it doubles sound type moves. So because Exploud can learn Boom Burst, that means Boom Burst is going to have basically a 280 base stat. Of course, Game Freak being Game Freak would probably reduce it to like 100, so it'd only be 200, or 95 or 80 or something. But basically, 280 base stat for Exploud. Now, if I remember correctly, Exploud actually is scrappy, which means that it could hit ghost types with Boom Burst. But I honestly don't think that really matters at this particular point. Because even if that's the case, there's still the fact that rock and steel types resist the particular Boom Burst, and then there's this Pokemon that have soundproof that are immune to Boom Burst and stuff. And Exploud is a very unique Pokemon. It has an attack stat and a special attack that are the same, and the Mega Evolution would definitely enhance that and push it over to like 114 or 120 in both, so it could be the mixed attack or special attacker. So we wouldn't have to worry about it. And because basically if there was basically Giga Impact and a similar move to Boom Burst that doesn't get amplified, would probably deal the same amount of damage. But since Boom Burst is stronger than a lot of moves, it definitely is its strongest attack available. And we don't have to worry about rock types and steel types resisting it because Amplified doubles the sound-based moves. It would deal basically neutral damage to them, unless of course they're rock and steel types, in which case it would deal only half of the usual damage, because rock and steel types would be reduced to 1/4. Ghost types don't matter because I'm sure Exploud can learn Shadow Ball and other moves that can affect ghost types. As for Ghost to Normal, woo! A Dark type. I'm sure Exploud might be able to learn a Dark type. But at this point, you should probably be using a different Pokemon move. or a different Pokemon. So anyway, that covers Exploud. Let's move on to third, Gliscor. Now, I probably could have chosen between Infernape or Torterra for 4th gen, and it would have made sense. But I chose Gliscor because of how cool it would have to have a Mega Evolution. I have no idea what Mega Gliscor would look like. But basically just an enhanced version. Maybe Gliscor looks a little bit stronger. Its strongest stats, whether it's attack or defense, would of course be boosted as a result of this. Maybe even speed would be increased as a result of. Its abilities can remain the same. It would still have the same typing of ground flying, unless you think it should have a different typing for its Mega Evolution. But that's pretty much it. Just Gliscor. Not a lot to say about Gliscor. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to choose Gliscor, and it's because there just wasn't any 4th gen. By the way, I'm just going to outright say it. I could not think of any Mega Evolutions for 1st and 2nd generations because, well, they pretty much already have a lot of Mega Evolutions, and 2nd gen just did not introduce. So basically, the next Pokemon is going to be a 5th gen Pokemon, and then we're going to go back to 6th gen. And as you can already tell, I've already used up the Pokemon that is not a part of Ash's team, so expect the following Pokemon to be relating to Ash's Pokemon. Which means, what do I want for 4th or 5th gen Mega Evolutions? Well, of course, I've chosen Crocodile. Good old Crocodile. This one was difficult, and I just chose it out of personal preference, but basically, Mega Crocodile. Mega Crocodile would look more like a Dragon type. I feel like it'll either be Dragon Dark or Ground Dragon, but it definitely gain a Dragon type in favor of another typing. And basically what I want is basically, you know how Druddigon looks very scaly like, and you know that red colored face that Druddigon has? Mega Crocodile would look similar. It would look like Crocodile because Crocodile's red, but it would be more scaly, and it would be like more mean looking and be more jagged. Basically, try to apply the texture of Druddigon's face to Crocodile in similar faces so it's not all smooth like Crocodile is. So it'd be very jagged and rough and scaly like. And that's what it would look like. Now, I already know that Crocodile already has 3 abilities. But basically, I still want Mega Crocodile to have its own ability. And the one thing that is, and why I want Crocodile to be part Dragon, is because basically its ability would make it so it could never be confused. No matter what it did, it could never be confused. Which means that it would be able to use Outrage without any drawback. Outside of however little PP Outrage actually has. I'm not really sure. Now, Outrage is a move that causes rage and confusion within a Dragon Pokemon, and that kind of makes sense because of the move and its stuff. But I want Crocodile to have an ability where it can't do that, and it can use Outrage freely. Now, I'm sure another ability would probably be more useful or something, or maybe the abilities it already has. But that's basically what I want. I want an ability where it can use its Dragon typing to its full ability. Or, basically give it an ability where the negative effects of moves don't apply to Crocodile. That would even be a stronger ability. So something like Hyper Beam, Draco Meteor, that wouldn't have the negative effects of being able to wait another turn, or even possibly lowering the special attack as Draco Meteor does, I think. I know it lowers something. I think it's special attack. Just like Leaf Storm, I think, does the same thing. So anyway, let's move on to the next Pokemon. So number 5, I'm sorry if I forgot to do the numbers. But anyway, I chose Noivern. I could have chosen, let's see, what could I have chosen? I made a list here. I could have chose Malamar, I could have chose Trevenant, Aegislash, Forlorges, or even Delphox, and they might have great Mega Evolution possibilities, but I chose Noivern for one reason. And I chose this over Goodra because Goodra is already a 600 base stat total Pokemon, and giving it a 700 base stat total as a result of Mega Evolution, I'd prefer Noivern, just give Noivern a special edge. And so I wanted Mega Noivern. I didn't give Mega Noivern a unique ability for itself because at this point, I thought having 3 abilities already would make it a little hard to give it a 4th ability. I'm not sure what Game Freak does in that particular instance. I don't know if there are 3 Pokemon or Pokemon that have 3 abilities already, and the Pokemon that have a Mega Evolution get a different ability. I don't know if there's any example like that. I will try and look at a couple of examples, but if you know for certain, feel free to leave it in the comments below. But basically, I chose Noivern because I think having Noivern with a Mega Evolution would be really cool. And it also enhance Noivern, and it would probably give it the ability to be... it would definitely enhance Noivern. It would definitely give people more reason to use Noivern. Noivern is already the strongest, or not the strongest, but the fastest Dragon-type Pokemon that I can think of. I don't know what Mega Rayquaza is, but Noivern is basically the non-Mega Pokemon that can move really fast. It has like 123 speed stats, so I expect an increase for its Mega Evolution. Maybe something like 150, 140. Its special attack will definitely increase as well, because I think that's its strongest special attack, and its other stats probably would be boosted accordingly. I really don't know what Mega Evolution does for Pokemon in terms of that, but that's what it basically would be like. Yeah, basically that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything in Noivern else. As for design, I don't know what Mega Noivern would look like. I would assume that it would look kind of like a jet, maybe. Maybe it'd look more like a jet. Maybe like Latios, or maybe even Garchomp in some fashion or another. Maybe it would have like a turbine thing on top of its back or something where it can actually move fast. But basically, it'd be a little bit different. It'd be a lot different. Again, Noivern is pretty big as it already is. I'm just not sure what to come up with. But I'm sure, I believe in Game Freak. I mean, after all, they came up with a Mega Evolution for Steelix, so they'd be able to come up with a Mega Evolution for Noivern. And Steelix is already a big Pokemon as is. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Oh, I'm a little over than what I wanted, but whatever. Anyway, like I said, it was really hard to come up with this list, and I'm sorry that the Mega Evolutions were primarily Pokemon that Ash could have access to, or Ash already has access to. But I really could not think of anything, and I had to choose what I would have liked to see. And that's basically what all this list of the pre-evolutions, the evolutions, the Mega Evolutions, all of this was basically what I wanted to see happening. So, like I said before, Ash probably won't have any of these Pokemon at all, but it would be really nice to see. And just as a disclaimer, if all of these actually end up happening, I'm going to laugh. If this actually happens exactly as I stated, maybe not with the unique abilities or the descriptions that I gave of these Pokemon, but if in general we get all of these examples of Mega Evolutions of all those Pokemon, the evolutions of the Pokemon I listed, and pre-evolutions of the Pokemon listed, I'm going to be making a video, and you're going to see my reaction to it. So anyway, either way, I hope you enjoyed this list. Go ahead and make your own top 5 list with the conditions that I've made, or however you want to do it. It's entirely up to you. So anyway, thank you for watching. I'm Dustin Benzel, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.